Hello everyone. In this presentation I am going to discuss the organosilicon compounds for organic synthesis. These are the content which I am going to cover in subsequent slides. Organosilicon compounds are those compounds which contains the carbon-silicon chemical bond. So the examples are trimethyl chlorosilane or triethylsilanes. Usually silicon has a lower electronegativity in compared to the carbon, so the bond is polar in nature. Carbon will have a nucleophilic character and silicon can easily attacked by the nucleophile reagent. In compared to silicon carbon bond strength, silicon forms a more stronger bond with the electronegative substituent. Especially the silicon fluorine bond is the most strongest bond, so it is easily attacked by the fluorine and oxygen and can form stronger bond in compared to the silicon carbon bond. So they are also used as a silylating reagents where they can react with the alcohols, amines and thiols and introduce the trialkyl silyl group in those compounds. So they are usually used to protect the alcohol. They are used to protect the alcohols, and they are also used to activate some different alkyl substituents where the nucleophilic character of carbon is used to form the CC bond with the alkyl halides. Now coming to the preparation of the organosilicon compounds, the first method is the direct method, which is also known as the Rochow-Muller process, where the chloroalkanes react directly with the silicon in presence of a copper catalyst at high temperature. So the major product will be dichlorodialkyl silane. So but with this compound R2SiCl2 will get the lot of byproduct which can contains the alkyl trichlorosilanes or trialkyl silicon chlorides and so on. So Grignard reagent can use to synthesize the TMSCl. TMSCl is the trimethyl silyl chloride, which this compound is known as TMSCl. That is trimethyl silyl chloride, and it can be prepared when the silicon chlorides react with the Grignard reagent. So here the 3 chlorines are replaced by the 3 methyl group and we can synthesize this compound by Grignard reagent. Similarly, this TMSCl can used further to react with the allyl Grignard reagent, and once it reacts with the allyl Grignard reagent, it can produce R3 silicon. That means trialkyl silyl chlorine group will replace with the MgCl, and this whole group will contain as a silicon. Instead of any this compound can be synthesized once we use the Grignard reagent with any R3 trialkyl silicon group. Then here we can say this R3 silicon will contain this R dash group, and this MgX group will replace this with this halogen. So what will happen? We can prepare the allyl silane by this method. The other method is hexamethyl disiloxanes can be used with the aluminium halides. It can be aluminum iodide, aluminum bromide or aluminum chloride. So once the hexamethyl disiloxanes are used with the aluminum halide, then they are used to synthesize the trialkyl silyl halides. It can be halogen, can be iodide, bromide or chloride. We can also synthesize the vinyl silanes using the alkynes. So terminal alkynes are used as an initial reactant where they are reacted with the trimethyl silanes. So here this hydrogen and this SiMa3 will have a negative and positive charge respectively, but they both goes on the alkyne moiety, and what will happen, the positive part will goes to that carbon which has the more number of hydrogen, and this negative part will goes to this carbon. So we'll get the E-vinylsinyl because there the hydrogens are opposite to each other. If we are treated this E-vinylsilane molecules which are in photochemical radiation, that can be converted into the Z-vinylsilanes. Except that vinyl bromide can also be used to prepare the vinylsilane, where the vinyl bromide first should be treated with the butyl lithium, so the halogen metal exchange reaction will take place, and here lithium will come instead of bromine. So vinyl lithium will form, and once it is treated with the trialkyl silyl halide, so lithium halide will remove and we'll get the SiMe3 group here. So from this method we can synthesize the E-vinylsilane, and if it is treated with the photochemical light, then it can be converted into Z-vinylsilanes. Except that iodo-trimethylsilanes can be prepared when the TMSCl group is treated directly with the lithium iodide or sodium iodide. Sodium iodide is taken in the acetonitrile, or lithium iodide can be taken in the chloroform. Then they can form the iodo-trimethylsilane. So chlorine is replaced by the iodine. And if we are treating the hexamethyl disilane, this hexamethyl disilane moiety is treated with the iodine, then this bond will break and we'll get the 2 moles of the trimethyl silyl iodide. So by these methods we can prepare a wide variety of silanes. Now coming to the chemical reaction. Organosilicon compounds are used to dealkylation, and they can react with the epoxides and ethers. So how the reaction takes place? Here we are taking the trialkyl silyl iodide because the iodides are the most reactive in compared to bromide, and bromides are reactive than compared to the trialkyl silyl chlorides. So here we are taking the example of trialkyl silyl iodide. Once they are treated with the ether, so what will happen? Oxygen has a lone pair and it can attack on the silicon because the silicon oxygen bond is a more stronger bond. Then the iodide will release from once this oxygen will attack on this silicon, this bond will iodine will as release is a leaving group. So here what will happen? This will form a adduct. Oxygen has a positive charge, so it will stabilize by the iodide. So what will happen? From whatever the alkyl group is can be break from here, and it will release in form of a alkyl iodide. Suppose here from the this alkyl iodide will release, and now our prime OSiMe3 molecule will be present. It can further react with the trialkyl silyl iodide, and oxygen will form the bond with the silicon, and iodine will again release, so it will form this adduct. From there this alkyl iodide will release and will get the trimethyl silyl ether as a side product. So basically these organosilicon compounds can be treated with the ethers and can form the alkyl halides with silyl ethers. Trialkyl silyl iodide can also react with the epoxides because silicon oxygen bond is so much strong bond, so the oxygen will attack on the silicon, and this from here this iodine silicon bond will break and this adduct will form. From there what will happen? The ring opening reaction will take place. So from here this bond will opens, and here we'll get this iodo-silyl ether complex. If the other silicon iodide, trialkyl silyl iodide comes here, then what will happen? It will attack again, this oxygen will attack on this silyl compound, so we'll get this compound. Now from here what will happen? We'll get this trimethyl silyl ether compound will release, and this iodine will be present on this carbon. So we'll get this diiodo-alkane complex, which can convert into the alkene by elimination of iodine. So epoxide can be converted into olefin with the trialkyl silyl iodide, and ethers can also form the haloalkanes in presence of the trialkyl silyl iodide reagent. Trialkyl silyl halides can also give the nucleophilic addition reaction with the different carbonyl compound. It can give reaction with the aldehyde or ketones. So once these compound reacts together, here we have taken the aldehyde and the trialkylsilyl iodide. So the oxygen's lone pair will attack on the silicon and this OSI bond will form, and from here iodine will break the bond with silicon. So what will happen here, the positive charge which is stabilized with the iodine negative. Now this iodine will attack on the electrophilic carbon and oxygen will takes up its bond electron again. Then we'll get the alpha iodo trimethyl silyl ethers. So once the silyl iodides or silyl halides react with the aldehyde, they form the alpha halo trialkyl silyl ethers. If these compounds reacts with the alpha beta unsaturated carbonyl compound with trialkyl silyl iodide, then first this adduct will form because oxygen will attack on this silicon and this iodine will release. Now iodine is a soft base, so it will attack on the double bond of the carbon-carbon double bond instead of carbon-oxygen bond. So it will give the conjugated addition reaction, and once it will attack here, so we'll get this iodine here and this bond will move here, migrate here. This will bond here and this bond will migrate here. So what will happen, we'll get this silyl ether here which is containing the double bond. So once we did the protonation, so what will happen, this bond will break and here will alcohol will contain, because it is an enolic compound, it will convert into the carbonyl compound. So if the alpha beta unsaturated ketones are treated with the trialkyl silyl iodide or trialkyl silyl halides, and they will form the beta halocarbonyl compounds because the halogen will attack in a conjugated addition. Silyl halides are used to protect the alcohols, where we can use a different type of trialkyl silyl halides. So first compound is given the trimethyl silyl chloride, except that we can replace the one methyl group with the tertiary butyl group, so it will be known as tertiary butyl dimethyl silyl chloride. Or if we are replacing, now this 2 methyl group is replaced by the 2 phenyl rings, then it is known as the tertiary butyl diphenyl silyl chloride. Or we can replace all 3 methyl group with the isopropyl group, then it is known as the triisopropyl silicon chloride. So these different type of silyl halides can be used to protect the alcohol. Now we have taken this type of alcohol which contains the 3 different type of OH molecules. What it means, it is the primary alcohol, it contains the secondary alcohol, as well as it contains the 3-degree alcohol. So we have taken one structure. Now we want to protect these functional moieties. If we are using the trimethyl silyl chloride, this is a least sterically hindered group, or less bulkier groups are present. So what it will do, once we are taking the 1 mole of the TMSCl, then the primary alcohol will be protected. If we are taking the sufficient amount of the trimethyl silyl chloride, then all OH moieties will be protected. If we are taking the sufficient trimethyl silyl chloride, then all OH functionality will be protected and HCl will release, and here we will get the trimethyl silane group with the oxygen. So silyl ether will form. And if we are treating this molecule with tertiary butyl diphenyl silyl chloride, that means with this molecule, so it having the 2 bulkier ring. So what it will do, it will only protect those primary alcohol which are less sterically hindered and easily approachable. So it is a primary alcohol and it will protect only this primary alcohol, and the rest alcohol cannot be protected by this molecule. So as per our desired situation, we can choose our silyl reagent to protect the alcohols, and once they are protected, they can easily deprotected. That means the silyl group can easily remove in presence of the tertiary butyl ammonium fluoride. In tertiary butyl ammonium fluoride. So what it happens, so fluorine silicon bond is a very stronger bond, so it will breaks this bond. Once this molecule will attack, this tertiary butyl ammonium fluoride will provide the fluoride and attack on the silicon, so this bond will breaks, so it can be easily protected even after the reaction. So protection by the silyl compounds is a very important reaction in the biological, drug targets, and medicinal chemistry. The many functionalities we need to protect, where we want to target one selective functionality even in presence of alcohol, so we can protect the alcohols with the silyl by forming the silyl ethers. It can be deprotected even with the base, that the potassium carbonate we can use, but they can only deprotect the primary alcohol, not the secondary and tertiary alcohol. So tertiary butyl ammonium fluoride can be used for all type of deprotection of the silyl components. Terminal alkynes can also be protected with the silicon functional moieties. Here we have taken the terminal alkyne. Once it is treated with the butyl lithium, so it will the terminal alkynes have acidic protons. So what will happen, from there the H will release and will get the organometallic compound. It can be organolithium derivative, or it can have a organomagnesium component. Once these components can further treated with the trimethyl silyl halides, so what will happen, from here the lithium chloride or magnesium Cl2 will release, and we will get the organosilicon compound. So actually it forms the protected alkyne, or alkynylic silanes will formed. Now from there, once this alkynylic silane will form, this will react with the further butyl lithium. So because now this hydrogen can be replaced by the lithium, organolithium reagent, so it will gives this organolithium compound, which contains the lithium as well as the silicon functional moiety. So now we will treat with this electrophile, then this carbon, because the lithium has a positive and carbon has a negative charge, so it can attack with the electrophile, and we can add the electrophile on the alkynylic carbon. Once this reaction will form, we can deprotect the silicon functional moiety in presence of the tetrabutyl ammonium fluoride, or any base like potassium carbonate or NaOH can be used to deprotect that functional moiety. So by this reaction, once we can protect the terminal alkynes in presence of the organosilicon reagent, so we can introduce the different electrophile at desired position, even in presence of the organolithium or organomagnesium reagents, and side reactions can happen, which can be omitted once the protected alkynes are formed with the silicon functional moiety. The silicon also stabilizes a positive charge on the beta carbon. So this stabilization provides the reduced selectivity in the alkynes. So what happens, once the attack will occur of the electrophile, so it will happen on that same carbon which is directly bonded to the silicon, because here we can see this is a protected alkynes. What happens, once the electrophile will come, it will directly bond to that carbon which is where the silicon is present. So here the electrophile will come, and the positive charge will present on this carbon. So from once the fluoride will attack, then the silicon will release with the fluoride, and it will forms the again alkyne. So we can say overall reaction is the substitution of the electrophile, substitution reaction, where the electrophile will come in place of the trialkyl silyl group. So why this reaction happens in this manner? Because here we can say this is a molecular orbital diagram, where this carbon has a positive charge, and here this filled carbon silicon bond is present. So now what will happen, this vacant p orbital, this structure is same. So here the vacant p orbital, and there is a filled carbon silicon orbital. So it can stabilize this charge by donating its electron pair to vacant orbital. So by this, formation of the triple bond will occur, and it is stabilized. So silicon stabilizes a positive charge on the beta carbon which is present here. So this reaction goes on smoothly. By this reaction we can also add the acyl group on the alkynes. So here we have protected the terminal alkyne with the organosilicon, just similar to this reaction. First we have treated this terminal alkyne with the butyl lithium, then this lithium is replaced by the organosilicon moiety. So once this is formed in presence of the Lewis acid halide will react and will form the acyl cation. Now this acyl cation will attack on this carbon. So here, due to the stable beta carbon positive charge is stabilized with the silicon moiety, this carbon acyl group will attack on this carbon. So once this intermediate will forms, any fluoride or any chloride will attack and it will release, silicon will release and we'll get the alkyne here. So alkynyl ketones can synthesize by protecting the alkynes with the trialkyl silicon functional moiety. Vinyl silanes can use to react with electrophile, and this reaction is a resio-selective reaction where the incoming electrophile will takes the place of the silicon. So simply we can say the electrophilic substitution reaction occurs where the silicon functional moiety is present, and it can be says like that substitution will occur on the same carbon with the retention in configuration. So we can say the substitution will occur on the ipso carbon. Like here we are taking the Z vinyl silane and here we are taking the E vinyl silane, the same molecule, but only the functional moieties are different. So here once this is treated with the iodine, so what will happen, this iodine will come in place of the silicon functional moiety, and here this iodine will come in place of the silicon functional moiety. So overall the substitution will occur in place of the silicon. Similarly we can treat the Z vinyl silane or E vinyl silane with the acyl chloride in presence of a Lewis acid. So it will introduce the COCH3 group in place of the silicon functional moiety. By this we can synthesize the alpha beta unsaturated carbonyl compounds. So this SiMe3 group is replaced by the COCH3, then we will get the alpha beta unsaturated carbonyl compounds. Only the stereochemistry will change depending on the initial reacting material. It is Z or E, it will depend on that position. So here we can say this R and this is the silicon group, they are anti to each other, so it is the E vinyl silane, and here this R1 group and this silicon is at the same side, the bulkier group at the same side. This is Z vinyl silane. So by this we can synthesize the different functional moieties. Here this new bond is formed and here this new bond is formed. So the substitution takes place at the ipso carbon. In similar fashion, like the vinyl silane reacts with the electrophile, similarly aryl silane also reacts with the electrophile. Due to this beta carbon's positive charge is stabilized with the silicon moiety, the substitution will take place at the ipso carbon. So here we can see once the aryl silanes are treated with the electrophile, instead of the ortho para attack, the electrophile will attack on the same carbon. So here the positive charge will comes, that is the alpha and beta carbon, so it will stabilize by the silicon's filled orbital. So this filled orbital charge density will donate its electron to the vacant p orbital of the carbocation. So aryl silanes also gives the substitution reaction with electrophile and it will occur at the ipso carbon. That means the same carbon will bear the electrophile which bears the silicon in the initial reactant material. Now coming to the allyl silanes also reacts with the electrophile and they react faster in compared to the vinyl silanes. These compounds give the substitution product when but the end of the alkene will attacked by the electrophile. That means allylic shift will take place. So here we can see this is the allyl silane. So once it reacts with the electrophile, what will happen? This electrophile will attack here and will get this positive charge. So it is beta carboxylyl cation and this beta carbocations get stabilized with the silicon functional moiety by the by the same manner as we have seen before. So what will happen, once the nucleophile will attack on the silicon, this will release and will get the alkene here. So here simply we can say allylic shift takes place. This double bond is moving here and this group is leaving. So here the electrophile is attacked. So overall the product will give the substitution product where the electrophile will release the silicon trialkyl group with the allylic shift in the product. So here we can see the molecular orbital diagram where this is a vacant orbital of the electrophile, and here is the double bond showing there is a carbon silicon bond which is a filled sigma orbital. So once this will attack on this carbon, then this will have a beta silyl cation. Now what happened, this have a vacant p orbital and the carbon silicon bond is a filled orbital. So this filled orbital can donate its electron to this beta carbocation. So it will donate its star density, and here double bond will form and this silicon will release with the nucleophile. So here again the bond will form. So by the overall this beta silyl carbocations stabilization with the filled orbital of silicon, they gives the wide variety of reaction with different type of electrophiles, and the allyl silanes are the more reactive in compared to the vinyl silanes also. Now here we can see some of the reaction of the allyl silanes where these allyl silanes reacts with the alkyl halide in presence of Lewis acid. So what will happen, this R cation will form, this R cation will attack on this at this position. So that means it will attack on that alkene carbon which is furthest from the silicon. There is the two carbons on the alkene, so it is nearest to the silicon, it is the away from the silicon. So this R group will come here and this double bond will shift here. So we'll get this product. Similarly, we can add on the acid halide, like here we'll add the acetylation we are doing. So what will happen, once we'll acetylation, we'll do the COCH3 group will add here and this bond will shift here. So we'll get this product. We can also add the alpha beta unsaturated carbonyl compound where this electrophile from here, this carbon will have an electrophile because of the oxygen electronegativity. So this will attack here and this bond will shift here. So we'll get this compound. Epoxide ring opening will also takes place in a similar manner. So with the allyl silane we can form a wide variety of products with using the different reagents. Here the titanium chloride is acting as a Lewis acid which is forming the different electrophiles. Now coming to the Peterson olefination reaction. This reaction was discovered by the John Peterson. It is used to synthesize the different olefins. So this reaction is a two-step synthesis method where the silyl carbanion is used, alpha silyl carbanions are used with the aldehyde or ketones, and they are can be converted into olefin depending on the acidic and basic treatment. Here we can see this is the alpha silyl carbanion which can react with the carbonyl compound. So it will give the nucleophilic addition reaction. This is a nucleophile, so it will attack on this carbonyl and this bond will move. So on the protonation here we'll get the alcohol. So basically we are getting the hydroxysilane or beta silyl alcohols. These compounds, these are known as the beta silyl alcohol or hydroxysilanes. So once they react with this carbon will form the bond. Here the carbon-carbon bond will form and we'll get this type of silyl alcohols. There's a two possible conditions where what we have done, we have taken the same configuration at the one carbon center and the other carbon center has the different configuration. So if they are treated with the acidic and basic treatment, the single silyl alcohol can be converted into the cis olefin as well as the trans olefin. So the specificity of reaction, one silyl alcohol can form both type of alkenes. It can be cis or it can be trans depending on the reaction condition. Which reaction condition we are using, it can form those compound. It can be cis alkene, it can be trans alkene with respect to each other. Now we will see the mechanism. Here we have taken this type of configuration where the beta silyl alcohol See here, the R1 and R3 are present away from the viewer, and R2 and R4 are towards the viewer. Once it is attacked with the acidic media, so what will happen? This H plus ion will goes to the OH oxygen's lone pair and form the OH2 positive, and then the water which is acting as a nucleophile will attack the trialkyl silyl group. So this bond will form, this will form the bond with silicon. This bond will migrate here, and from this water will release. So we'll get the olefins. So what have happened? R1 and R3, which are away from the viewer, will have a will be present on the same side. So we'll get this type of olefin. Peterson olefination reaction can be catalyzed by the acids or base, both. So in the acid catalyzed reaction, if we are taking this compound, the anti-elimination reaction is happening and it will form the olefin. And now we will look towards the base catalyzed reaction, where the base catalyzed reaction, this is a silyl carbanion and it reacts silyl compound in presence of carbonyl compound. So base will attack and this hydrogen will release, so the carbanion will form and this will attack on this carbonyl compound. So by this we'll get this compound. So here we'll get the beta hydroxysilane like compound, and once this will form, what can happen? Two type of reaction can happen. It will forms a bond with the silicon and will give the betaine type structure. This is a betaine, so it will give the 4-member oxetane structure. Or we can say, because silicon is also present in the ring, it is known as the oxosilitinide. So once it is formed, it will give the syn elimination reaction will happen. It will give the olefin here and R3SiOH will eliminate. So we'll get the olefin. Or either it can goes on by this step where this oxygen, what will happen? This oxygen will takes up the silicon and will convert into OSiR3. So this carbon will have a negative charge. Now this carbon will transfer electron to the adjacent carbon, and from here R3SiOH will release. So by the both method we can get the olefins. So in the acid and bases some different steps will takes place, but we will get the olefin. Now we can here we can see one single type isomer in presence of acidic and basic condition will provide the different type of alkenes, or the two different isomers will provide the, in the same condition they will provide the different type of alkenes. Here we have taken one compound. This is a compound. This is erythro compound. Once it is catalyzed with the acid media, so what will happen? It will have the OH2 positive and the water will attack. So what will happen here? The propyl and hydrogen will at the same side. So these two propyl group will be opposite to each other. So it is forming the E alkene. Now what we are doing? We are taking the same compound. This same compound here, this erythro compound. Once it is treated with the basic media, so this will form the oxygen negative ion. So what it will go? It will give the elimination by the syn periplanar manner. So oxetane will form, 4-membered ring will form here, and once this will convert into the anion, it will convert into the syn, from anti-periplanar it is coming into syn periplanar manner. Now it is forming the bond. So here the silicon is the pentavalent and it is the oxosilitinide molecule. So now in the syn periplanar elimination it will give the Z alkene. So what is happening? Same erythro compound we are taking in acidic media as well as basic media. So erythro compound in acidic media is providing the E alkene, while the erythro compound in the basic hydrolysis or the basic Peterson olefination reaction providing the Z alkene. While if we are taking the trio compound, the trio compound in presence of acidic media will provide the Z alkene. So it's all about the organosilicon compound. Thank you all.